Egypt's election authority says 139 overseas stations open on day 2, with more opening today. The Grand Egyptian Museum reaches full capacity for a second day. And Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati discusses Egypt-EU cooperation and regional issues with EU High Representative. The news in detail. Egypt's election authority says 139 overseas polling stations have opened so far, with more than to follow today, as New Zealand became the first to close day 2 of phase 1. The NEA operations chief Ahmed Bindari said 139 sites are currently open and remaining stations will come online through the day. He announced the first committee to finish voting was in New Zealand. Bindari held a video conference with ambassadors and diplomatic staff heading subcommittees abroad to brief the public on progress during the second day of overseas balloting in phase 1 of the House elections, noting procedures are proceeding to schedule. Egypt's election authority says day 1 of overseas voting saw heavy participation with coordination and new apps easing access. 52 polling sites are open so far today, with more to follow. The NEA Executive Director Ahmed Bindari said turnout was strong on day 1, especially in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, crediting full coordination with the Foreign Ministry and tech support from the Communications Ministry. The NEA apps helped voters find subcommittees and check crowd levels, reducing congestion. Vote counting is conducted by heads of missions, with results entered electronically into the NEA system before dispatch by diplomatic push to Cairo. Bindari said openings are rolling, 52 sites active so far today, with 87 due to open. Egypt's missions across the Asia-Pacific report orderly voting in day 2 of overseas balloting, with several posts counting down hours to close and preparing to start the tally. Ambassadors and consuls in Australia, Japan, India, China, Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, Bangladesh and other posts say procedures have run smoothly since yesterday, with steady participation from Egyptian communities. Many stations reported 4 to 7 hours remaining before doors close and counting begins. Officials thanked the National Election Authority and technical support teams for rapid coordination. NEA Operations Chief Ahmed Bindari held a video call with overseas subcommittees heads to brief the public on progress during day 2 of phase 1. For further analysis, we're joined from Cairo by Mr. Kanu Davi, the international observer at the Nazaha Integrity Coalition. Good evening to you, sir, and welcome to Qnews. What is Nazaha's overall readiness plan for phase 1 operations room, hotlines and team deployment? Tell us more, please.
Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you for having me. My name is Kanu Devi. I'm an international observer, member of Mazahat Coalition. I'm from Switzerland.
Right. Tell me more about your preparedness plan for phase one on every aspect.
Excuse me, could you repeat, please?
Again, what is Nazaha's preparedness plan for phase one?
Mazahat Coalition is dedicated to observe election. And for the first phase, we will observe 17 governorate for the first phase.
Right. So how will you be managing the observation process?
Oh, about the observation process, it will be international observer. And in Mazahat Coalition, we are 60, including administrative teams, international observer, local observer, and operation room.
Now, how many observers are on the ground, and how are they allocated across governorates and polling centers, and what criteria did you choose?
Well, we target to visit 30 subcommittees per day and per person, which means 60 subcommittees for the two phases and per person.
Right. And how many observers are on the ground?
Observers for the first phases will be 34 observers.
34 observers allocated throughout the polling stations, right? The different polling stations and subcommittees, right?
Excuse me?
Again, those observers will be distributed and allocated to overview the polling stations and the subcommittees, right?
Yeah, the subcommittees, yeah.
So what training did observers receive, and code of conduct, entry procedures, what kind of education or the code of conduct that you received here, and what criteria are you using in your observation process?
Well, it will be international observation standard, and about the criteria and the process, we will observe the election in subcommittees, and we will fill an online form, which will be directly sent to Mazahat Coalition operation room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what methodology are you using? Standardized checklists, statistically valid sampling, photo, videos, documentation, and what real-time reporting channels are you on?
We are using online form, and we will observe. It will be 240 in total, and it will cover most part of Egypt.
Mm-hmm. So how is the National Election Authority and the local authorities are coordinating with you to facilitate your mission here?
Oh, thank you for that question, which is an important question actually. About the collaboration, is if there is any issue during our observation, for instance, we will fill a report and send it to Mazahat operation room, and then the Mazat Commission will send that report to national election authorities. And in addition to that, there will be a final report that will be submitted to the National Election Authority from Mazat Coalition.
So are the Egyptian authorities facilitating this mission for you?
Yeah, they are facilitating this mission, of course.
Right. Any other problems that you want to put here?
I would like to thank you for this interview. And we are excited to take part in this observation.
Right. From Cairo, that was Mr. Kanu Davi, the international observer at the Nazaha Integrity Coalition. We thank you so much, sir, for joining us here on Qnews. And back to our news, the Grand Egyptian Museum hit full operating capacity for a second day with online-only booking now applied on Fridays, Saturdays, and public holidays to manage heavy demand. Museum management says yesterday's on-site ticket sales were halted after visits exceeded the daily operating limit under the new policy. Entry on Fridays, Saturdays, and public holidays is reservation via the official website only. Ticket windows will be closed on those days. Pre-confirmed bookings remain valid and are being honored at scheduled times. On other weekends, tickets are available both online and at windows, subject to capacity. The measure aims to streamline entry, enhance safety, and improve the visitors' experience. Grand Egyptian Museum CEO Ahmed Ghunaim said a joint marketing push with operators and the Tourism Promotion Authority will sustain momentum as the museum scales up. Speaking at the Egypt Media Forum, Ghunaim said new galleries are under study but require significant funding and strict climate controls to protect artifacts. He outlined plans to host scientific and international conferences and to permit films shoots, differentiating documentary from commercial work for revenue and safeguards. He credited multiple ministries and partners for the museum's launch and thanked Egypt's leadership for exerting strenuous efforts for the sake of such eminent cultural landmark. Planning and International Cooperation Minister Rania Al-Mashad says the Grand Egyptian Museum is a global destination set to draw millions and turbocharge cultural tourism. In press remarks, Al-Mashad said Jim, the world's largest museum devoted to a single civilization housing the full Tutankhamun collection, will help deliver Egypt's goal of 30 million tourists by 2030. She cited the site's access to major arteries and Sphinx International Airport plus private investment expanding hotel rooms. She further added that recent infrastructure upgrades, investment climate reforms and Egypt's trade accords position the economy to capture more tourism and FDIs. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli reviewed October's Unified Complaints System report as 193,000 submissions were logged in, with rapid cross-government follow-up orders to boost citizen trust. Cabinet's Unified Government Complaints System received and tracked 193,000 complaints, appeals and inquiries in October, said Dr. Tariq Al-Rifai. After reviews, 144,000 were routed to competent authorities for action. 44,000 were archived and 5,000 remain under data completion. Madbouli praised ministry and governorate teams for faster responses and directed further efforts to address root cause, improve services and raise citizen satisfaction through coordinated electronic handling and timely feedback. Egypt's foreign ministry Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati spoke with EU High Representative Kaya Kallas on a number of regional files, including Gaza. On Gaza, Abdulati stressed consolidating the Sharm el-Sheikh ceasefire, moving to phase 2 of President Trump's plan, political development and humanitarian tracks, and hosting an international early recovery and reconstruction conference this month. He noted the UNSC consultations on welcoming the plan, forming a peace council, deploying an international force and a Palestinian administrative committee. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin. But before we wrap up, here is a recap of the top stories making headlines this hour. Egypt's election authorities says 105 overseas stations open on day 2, with more opening today. The Grand Egyptian Museum reached full capacity for a second day. And Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati discusses Egypt's EU cooperation and regional issues with the EU High Representative. For more stories and live updates, follow Qnews on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at Qnews EGY. From all of us here, many thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more news and analysis on Qnews.